He couldn't see it clearly from where he was standing, but Jinwoo knew her neck and the back of her head were badly burned. Those scars were caused by something he did. He had just wanted to wash her hair like she washed his hen. When he was young, Jinwoo hadn't been to many public baths, and didn't know how to test the water temperature. The bucket filled with water was much too hot. It made a bubbling sound, and then a squeaking noise as it was poured over her. He walked carefully up to his mother from behind, trying not to drop anything. Then splash, he poured the bucket of water on her. At first she jumped a little, but Kyunji didn't move. She held Gina close to protect her daughter from the water. Her face turned very red, but she stayed quiet. The cries that followed came from the other women around her. Oh my, Kyunji. That's when Jinwoo knew something had gone wrong. Even though he was just trying to be helpful, he let go of the scoop and felt like he might cry, but his mother quickly held his shoulders and asked, Jinwoo, are you alright? Are you hurt anywhere? Jinwoo remembered being really worried at that time, but he never forgot what happened at the bathhouse or what she said. He always thought he didn't owe anyone anything. After his father disappeared, Kainki took care of him, and Gina all by herself, like a single parent. Jinwoo usually didn't like owing anyone anything or doing favors for others, but he felt he could never repay what he owed his mother. Right now the very last bit of the special medicine touched her lips. Jinwoo carefully put the bottle down and gently laid his mother back on the bed. He waited quietly, hoping something would happen. His heart was beating so fast it hurt in his chest. But dump. He felt a tightness in his throat. Nothing happened, but when a drop of blood fell from Jinwoo's closed fist. Kyungi took a deep breath, as if she had just escaped from a dangerous situation. Jinwoo was very surprised. Color was coming back to her face, like when a picture slowly gains color. Each second felt very long. How long had it been? Her mother slowly opened her eyes. She looked around the room, and then at Jinwoo. Is that you, Jinwoo? Jinwoo's heart beat fast, but he nodded. It was easy to see why his mother didn't recognize him right away. It had been 4 years, and his body had changed a lot. He didn't hurry her and waited calmly. Thoughts from 4 years ago slowly came back to Kyunji's mind, like water filling a pitcher. It didn't take long for her to remember why she was in the hospital. How long have I been here? 4 years. Jinwoo could have said exactly how many days if she had asked. He spoke quietly to help his mother stay calm. She was surprised to hear it had been so long and asked, What about Gina? Is she all right? Jinwoo held back tears. His mother had recently gotten better after being very sick for 4 years, and the first thing she wanted to know was how her daughter was doing. He squeezed his lips together so he wouldn't cry. He wanted to say he didn't want to worry about Gina right now, but he tried to stay calm and smiled a little. Yes, she is okay. Kyunji breathed out, looking much happier. Jinwoo hoped his mother would take better care of herself, but he was glad she was still the same. He felt hopeful that things would return to normal. As he realized his mother was truly getting better, his heart raced. Jinwoo was suddenly very surprised. The feeling of his mother holding his hand brought him back to the present. Mom. Thank you, son. You kept your promise. Promise. He remembered now. It had been so obvious to him that he hadn't even thought about it as a promise. The eternal sleep disease was an illness that made people fall into a deeper and deeper sleep until they could not wake up. As Kunji's illness made it more and more difficult for her to live normally, she asked Jinwoo to do something for her. If I fall into a very deep sleep and can't wake up, she said, will you please take care of my sister? She asked him with a small smile, as if she were asking him to do a simple task. Because of that request, Jinwoo kept going and never felt angry or upset. He wanted to honor her wish and care for his sister. He simply helped her with the difficult task she was facing. His mother held his hand very tightly, as if she understood everything. Jinwoo, it must have been challenging for you, right? Jinwoo wished he could make her feel better by laughing, and saying it wasn't a big deal, but he couldn't. The tears he had been holding back flowed down his face as he answered quickly. Yes, the Korea-Japan Alliance. What? Dr. Sung-School Lee, the head doctor at Seoul Ilshin Hospital, was very surprised by the amazing news. A patient with eternal sleep disease had woken up. Are you certain? Yes, Dr. Lee. I checked it myself. This news would have interested the doctor even if it happened at a different hospital. But to think it happened to a patient here, I am so lucky. The very smart Dr. Lee quickly started thinking about the details. This has never happened before, has it? That's right. Kung Yi's doctor nodded. Dr. Lee smiled so broadly, it looked like his face might crack. Good job, Dr. Chai. What? Dr. Lee. I didn't do anything. Oh, come on. Dr. Lee gave Dr. Chai a knowing look. It doesn't matter how it happened. If a patient gets better, then the doctor should be praised. And of course the hospital that the doctor works at should be praised too. Oh, yes. Thank you, Dr. Lee. The doctor bowed a little, but it didn't stop Dr. Lee from smiling widely at this surprising but great news. If I do this right, everyone will be talking about Eshin Hospital. If people start talking about it, it will be free advertising. The hospital didn't have much to risk and could benefit a lot. Once people found out, reporters from all over the world would come looking for information. This was a great chance to get the hospital's name known without spending any money or effort. Reporters would want to learn about the care being given. He and his team could carefully study the patient and try to understand what was happening. That didn't seem like a problem at first, or so he believed. But Dr. Choi looked at him strangely and spoke carefully. The patient's parent has asked for the patient to leave the hospital. What? That couldn't be right. News reporters would only come if the patient was still in the hospital. He didn't even care about the reporters anymore. The doctors needed to keep her at the hospital so they could understand how she had gotten better. Dr. Lee frowned. How is the patient doing? She is doing well. She is completely healthy after being in bed and asleep for 4 years. Maybe the machines that were helping her stay alive played a part. He had always worried that having such powerful machines might cause problems. Delay letting her go home for as long as we can. Tell everyone we still need to watch the patient. We can't make her stay if she wants to leave without a good reason. They had only one thing left to do: share the news before the patient went home. Let's tell the media while she is still here. Dr. Choi shook his head. That would be hard, Dr. Lee. Why? We can't share the patient's name. If we do something wrong, we could get in serious trouble. The head doctor was surprised by what his coworker said, but he could see in Dr. Choi's eyes that he was being honest. Dr. Lee quietly asked, "Is the patient someone important?" "It's not the patient. It's the person taking care of her. He asked us to keep her name a secret." Dr. Lee noticed how respectfully Dr. Choi was speaking about this person. Who is this person anyway? It was amazing that this person's family wanted to stay private, and that Dr. Choi was being so careful about talking about him. Do you know Mr. Jin Woo-sung? Jin Woo-sung. Was he a politician or the head of a large company? The name sounded known, but Dr. Lee couldn't remember exactly who it was. He shook his head, and Dr. Choi quickly explained. He is the hunter who just received the highest possible rating. The highest rating. So that's why Dr. Choi was being careful. To think the Guardian would be such a powerful hunter. If I made a mistake and something went wrong, I would be in big trouble. Powerful hunters have a lot of influence, and if someone made one angry, Dr. Lee felt nervous at this surprising news. That was a close call. He quickly regained his composure and smiled. Let's release the patient right away. So you agree? Yes, of course. Dr. Lee laughed, keeping his smile friendly. Of course they needed to let her go. What would happen if they bothered a really strong hunter? He pretty much said they couldn't. We can't make someone stay if they are healthy. Right? Yes, Dr. Lee. Dr. Choi left quickly, and when Dr. Lee was alone, Lee sighed with relief as he looked at the closed door to his office. Gina hurried to the hospital as soon as she got the call. Jinwoo was at his mother's bedside when he felt his sister coming closer very fast. The door opened. Mom. Mom. Gina's face was very wet with tears when she came into the room. My dear, you've grown so much. Gina was in middle school, the last time her mother had seen her, so Kungi was really surprised to see how much her daughter had grown up. She felt better quickly and opened her arms with a big warm smile. Then, Mom. Gina ran and hugged her mother tightly. Jean was stopped for a moment. It wasn't the best thing to do for someone who had just woken up after being in a deep sleep for 4 years, but he couldn't help feeling sad with his sister. Gina usually acted older than she was, so it was easy to forget she was still a child. Jinwoo felt sad to see his sister so upset. He was about to help her, but Kanui gently shook her head and put a finger to her lips. She didn't stop rubbing her daughter's back even for a moment. Jinwoo quietly sighed. and took a step back. Watching his sister held by their mother and seeing the happy look on their mother's face made him smile. It was a good feeling. He felt proud that his hard work had paid off, and it felt like a cold feeling inside him had finally disappeared. He decided to give them a little more time, especially until Gina felt better. She was a bright girl and understood she shouldn't exhaust her mother, but she just needed a moment to calm down. Jinwoo looked toward the window, still smiling. The sun shone brightly, like it was happy. The family was together again. He looked out the window for a moment, lost in thought, then got his cell phone. He couldn't even start to answer all the missed calls and messages on his phone. There were just too many. He looked at his notifications for a bit, then got rid of them all. He figured if anyone really needed him, they would try contacting him again. Instead, he opened an internet browser. That's when he went to a news website, and something he saw made him frown. A magical beast was seen flying in the sky above Seoul. The news said it was heading toward the Hunters Association, wasn't answering their calls. Pictures of Kaisel were everywhere on the news. Even though the hospital wasn't close to Jinwoo's home, he didn't think anyone would see him arrive so quickly. There were so many photos taken in a short time. Luckily, none of the pictures clearly showed him on Kaisel. Yesterday when he summoned Kaisel, he didn't worry about what other people would say. But now, after reading all the reports and hearing what everyone was talking about, he wasn't so confident anymore. Thinking about it now, who wouldn't be scared to see a huge magical creature flying in the sky? As he read the worrying articles, Jinwoo decided to be more careful in the future. He didn't want to scare people on purpose. He remembered not really wanting to be a necromancer, because he was worried about what others would think of him. If people reacted this strongly to a large flying lizard, he imagined it would be even worse if they saw Fang with the sphere of avarice. He was thinking about this when his phone started to vibrate. Who was calling? Jinwoo stepped out of the hospital room to answer the unknown number. Hello, Hunter Sung. It was an older man with a quiet but happy voice. Jinwoo recognized the voice immediately. President Go. Yes, it's Gun Hee Go from the Hunters Association. President. Why would the important President Go be calling Jinwoo? Jinwoo moved away from the crowded hallway to a quieter place. May I ask why you're calling me? You've probably already heard. Heard what? Jinwoo tilted his head, not sure what President Go meant. I don't think I know what you're talking about. Haven't you seen the news? Wow, news really did spread quickly. Jinwoo easily said, no, I'm sorry about that. I will be careful from now on. What did you say? The president sounded confused, and Jinwoo quickly realized they were talking about different things. Wasn't the conversation about Kaisel? What else could be on the news? The second dungeon, the Red Gate, finishing a difficult dungeon, the Sphere of Avarice. The more Jinwoo considered it, the more he understood his adventures were interesting enough to be reported. What is happening? I guess you haven't heard the news yet. I was in a place where it was difficult to get a signal and just returned. That wasn't exactly a lie. President Go's voice sounded even more serious than usual. Hunter Sung. From past experience, Jinwoo knew this change in tone meant the caller was getting to the important part of the conversation. Could we talk in person? Jinwoo was now even more curious than when he had answered the phone. Not only was the president of the association calling him personally, but he wanted to meet with him too. How serious could this be? Still, Jinwoo glanced back at his mother's room. He couldn't meet this person there. He didn't want to involve his mother in anything she didn't need to be part of. I can go to you. Would you please? Of course. That would be easier for Jinwoo. After he finished the phone call, Jinwoo told his mother he had something important to do and quickly left. The sunlight bothered his eyes after being in the Dark Demon's castle for so long. He looked up and squinted. Should he just ride Kaisel there? He thought about it for a moment, smiled to himself, and then tried to get a taxi. The video taken by a security camera was very surprising. It showed a calm road with very few cars, even when the video was sped up. It looked like a neighborhood, maybe in the countryside. The video stopped quickly, moving forward, and started playing very slowly. Suddenly a car came into view. Even though it was moving in slow motion, it was clear the car was going very fast. After just a moment, a dark shape appeared in front of the car. A living thing stood on two legs. Much like a person, the car was going too fast to slow down or stop. But it didn't crash. Just before it would have hit the creature, the car was lifted up into the air. A shadowy figure easily flipped a car over. The driver inside was knocked unconscious. The figure pulled the driver out and quickly ate him, starting with the head. If there had been a microphone, you would have heard loud crunching noises. The video stopped. Jinwoo turned from the large screen that covered the entire wall of the president's office and looked at President Go, who was sitting across from him. President Go gently put the remote control on the table. 300. He didn't talk lightly about the bad things happening in another country. That is how many people were killed by that one ant. Were the hunters from Japan slow to react? No, not at all. President Go shook his head. It took less than 30 minutes for hunters to get to the village. In that time, the whole village was destroyed. Japan had some of the best hunters in Asia. So if a place like that could be hurt so badly, what would happen if one of those ants flew into Korea? President Go watched the video many times, and still felt scared each time. We really need to get rid of them before it is too late. The plan would start in 4 days. Japan had been asking all week to see who from Korea would be taking part in the hunter activities. President Go, who was in charge for Korea, had been delaying giving them the names. There was one reason for this: he hadn't been able to reach Jinwoo until now. Finally, the time had come when he could finish the list. President Go's heart beat faster as he spoke to Jinwoo. We are going to Jeju Island to defeat the ants completely. He looked very worried. But we need your help, Hunter Sung. President Go became very still and nervous. If Jinwoo said no, there wasn't anything anyone could do. Jinwoo wasn't part of a group, and he didn't have to help the association. It was completely his choice. After thinking about it carefully, Jinwoo began to speak. After the meeting with the president finished, Jinwoo started to leave, but he quickly turned back when he felt something was wrong. What was that? He felt magical energy nearby. Was a dungeon opening? That was his first idea, but he soon realized it probably wasn't. He could tell the magical energy came from several hunters. Not a monster. Is something wrong? President Go asked as he walked Jinwoo toward the door. Not really. But I think hunters are fighting close by. That's strange. President Go laughed. What hunters would be so bold as to fight near the Hunters Association building? That couldn't happen. Wait a minute. Where is Hunter Sung looking? He suddenly remembered something. The best hunters are training in the gym right now. Is that what you're sensing? Training? That would explain the steady, controlled releases of magical energy. Jinwoo nodded. I understand. The president looked at Jinwoo with surprise. Could he sense things from so far away? The association's gym was specially built to hold magic and keep it inside. President Go himself couldn't feel any magic at all. But Jinwoo could not only sense magic coming from the gym, but he also knew someone was fighting. Just how well could he sense things? The president had no idea. Would you like to go to the gym and see for yourself? The president asked calmly. It wasn't often that so many powerful strengths were all together in one place. Also, now that Jinwoo was a high-ranking hunter, he didn't want to miss a chance to see what the other top hunters could do. Mr. Ryuji Goto will be there too. Jinwoo had been thinking about whether to go, but this new information made him stop. You mean the Ryuji Goto? That's right. Every hunter, really everyone, knew the name of the strongest hunter from Japan. Yes, Ryuji Goto. He is here to help train the hunters from Korea and Japan so they can work together. But he is leaving tomorrow, so this is your only chance to meet him. The best hunters from Korea and Japan all in one place. I can't miss this. Jinwoo was very excited to accept President Go's invitation. Meanwhile, Ryuji was trying not to yawn. Are these really the best hunters Korea has? They weren't very good. No, they were actually quite weak. Saying something was terrible meant it was truly bad, while pathetic meant it was sad and disappointing. If keeping Korea safe depended on them, wouldn't it be better if Japan helped protect them? Ryuji smiled as he watched the hunters. However, there was one hunter who seemed pretty good among the top Korean hunters. Her name was Hain-chan, wasn't it? Still, she wasn't as strong as the top hunters from Japan. She wasn't as skilled as the best fighters from Japan. That's not too surprising though. Korea is a small country with not many people. It was sad that their strongest awakened fighter was an older man who couldn't battle anymore, and didn't have much time left. Gun He-go is as strong as our best hunters, but this was bad news for Korea. He had finished checking out the Korean hunters, and that was why he stayed. If they stopped fighting during the attack, they wouldn't last very long at all. Ryuji decided he had seen enough and started to leave when he noticed someone walking into the gym. He raised his eyebrows, surprised. He didn't know someone was coming until they were right next to him. He couldn't even feel this person's presence, even when looking directly at them. Was this a very skilled hunter? He turned to the translator the Hunters Association had given him. Who is that person? The translator looked closely at the newcomer, then smiled when they recognized him. Oh, he's a newly registered hunter with an S rank. Ah, this was the person who had recently awakened with a mysterious past.